June 23rd, 2011. On this day, over 14 years ago now, TF2 players across the Badlands, or the odd My Little Pony roleplay server,
magic, pal.
were hit with by far the biggest update they've seen yet, the Uber update. 3 days of teasers leading up to the actual update, with a bonus blog post on the 5th day. But wait, why was this update so monumental? What made it become what many consider to be the biggest update in TF2's history? I'm glad you asked. In today's video, I'll cover each day of the update, going over what was added, and hopefully show you why this was the most important update in the game's history. The first day leading up to the update went by the name of Mobster Monday, and announced, unsurprisingly, mob-themed items. 2 new item sets were revealed, one for the heavy and one for the spy. For heavy, he received the Black Market Business set, which included the Tomislav, Family Business, Eviction Notice, and the Capless Capper. Spy set was the Man of Honor. His set had the Enforcer, Big Earner, Made Man, and Cosa Nostra cap. Not only did we get these 2 sets, but we also saw one of the game's most popular maps, Barn Blitz. A payload map with 4 capture points, starting with this outside area and ending with a last point so choky that it'll give you Dust Bowl flashbacks. Anyways, from the first day alone, we had already seen 5 weapons, 2 new item sets, and a popular map. Now, some of the weapons were admittedly pretty meh, dare I say bad, and unfortunately unbalanced weapons will be a bit of a trend going forward. Nonetheless, the amount of content revealed in the first day alone was still pretty impressive. But was that really it? There's no way it could possibly... It got better. Timbuk Tuesday, while not unveiling any new maps, did still show off some juicy new weapons and item sets. Specifically for the Sniper and Demo Man. Demo Man, or more specifically Demo Knight, I guess, received the set 1001 Demo Knights. The set contained the Splendid Screen, Purse Persuader, and Alibaba's Wee Booties. The Lawrence of Australia set for Sniper was made up of the Bizarre Bargain, this melee with a hard to pronounce name, and the Desert Marauder hat. Now you might be asking yourself how these characters are even related enough to get item sets together, but if you really think about it, these guys are actually a perfect pairing. Sniper has his decades of experience in the Australian outback, and Demo Man, according to the Uber Update website, naturally accumulates moisture in his empty eye cavity, which drips down from his head to his throat, making him, and I quote, the equivalent of a one-eyed cactus that swears. Now, let's move on to day... Hello? Check the update page again. Alright, if you say so. A bonk can. This looks a little out of place.
Woo!
That's right, we actually got 3 item sets. By clicking on the empty bonk can on day 2's update page, it would reveal the number 1 fan set. This set for Scout was all about movement with the Soda Popper, Winger, and Atomizer. Oh, and the Bonk Boy was there too, I guess. Day 2 added even more items and sets. Doing the math, that's 8 new weapons across 3 sets. But I think we've been on day 2 long enough. Let's move on to...
Oh no!
This was the final day before the grand update was released. Yet another 2 packs were revealed. One, the General's Formals, was for the Soldier. The other, the Airborne Armaments, was also for the soldier. The former was made up of the Man Shreds, Disciplinary Action, Armored Authority, and Fancy Dress Uniform. The latter consisted of the Liberty Launcher, Reserve Shooter, Market Gardener, and the Jumper's Jeep Cap. Something tells me that the person in charge of day 3 was maybe, quite possibly, a big soldier fan. Okay. Now with soldier checked off, there were only 3 classes who are yet to have anything new announced. is what I would be saying if it wasn't for one secret on the update page. Similar to the Scout secret page, clicking on this little pyro head will redirect you to this site revealing the detonator, a weapon that quote-unquote they said was too hot for the internet and was ordered not to ship. Who's they? No idea. The totally real and not made for a joke Valve employee who snuck in the secret page just assumes that the they person is their boss. This further proves my hypothesis that someone at Valve was just a really big soldier main. But joke employees and theories aside, this is the only weapon Pyro received for the update, which is still better than Engineer, who unfortunately received nothing at all.
Damn it!
Sorry, Uncle Dane. The secret page even acknowledges this, but there's still one class left. One class that the update was all about. The final day had arrived, and this was by far the biggest day yet. The content revealed over the last 3 days was finally added, meaning that, if you include day 4, every class, except for the Engineer, received some sort of new set or weapon in the update. As for the content purely in the day itself, let's cover game additions first. To start off, we received the very first batch of strange weapons. Weapons that would track every kill you get and add it to a counter. A huge addition which would later be expanded on in the following updates. There were also new paints. 6 to be exact. Each one had 2 separate colors depending on the team, but for the most important gameplay addition, Medic received a new set called the Clinical Trial. The set was made up of the Quick Fix, Solemn Vow, and the Overdose. Despite the huge chunk of content that was added, we are still far from the biggest part of the update. Fun fact, the Quick Fix was the original Medigun, and the reason it doesn't provide a regular Uber charge was because the invulnerability function shorted out after its first use. We even get to see this first Uber in a certain video that was revealed on this day. That's right, along with the update, Valve released the Meet the Medic video, one of the most viewed TF2 videos ever. To quickly sum it up for those who haven't seen it, which probably isn't many of you, Medic is in the middle of surgery during a battle, chatting with Heavy and whatnot. Heavy's heart explodes thanks to this Uber thingy. Medic instead uses a Mega Baboon heart. Oh hey Spy.
Kill me later.
Anyways, heart works. Whoops, rib break. Heavy gets healed, and they go out to fight. Medic supports the team, and the first ever Uber is a success. That was a huge oversimplification of it, so I really recommend you check out the original, even though 99% of you have already seen it. But the truly biggest part of the update wasn't the new Medic set, or the other item sets, or even Meet the Medic. There was something much bigger. Something that would change the game forever. Team Fortress 2 became free to play. If you didn't know, TF2 originally wasn't free. The game actually used to have a, for my American viewers, $20 USD price tag slapped on it. It was also bundled with the Orange Box, the collection which contained TF2, Half-Life 2 and its episodes, and Portal 1. If you already owned TF2 before it became free to play, or you bought the Orange Box, then you would get, drumroll please, this hat. But that's not important. What was important was just how much it affected the game. Going free to play brought in a huge influx of players. If you started playing after this update was released, which, considering when this came out, probably most of you, chances are that the game being free was what pushed you to try it in the first place. With the brand new free to play motto, a huge content update with lasting effects, for better or for worse, and the community, as well as Valve's pockets, growing tremendously, TF2 was changed forever. There's a reason why Valve called this update the biggest and most ambitious update in the history of Team Fortress 2. Day 5 was fairly uneventful compared to the previous days. The content was announced in a blog post and isn't even on the official update website. We received 2 new taunts, one for the medic and one for all classes. The medic taunt was called Meet the Medic, a simple, standard taunt which is a great reference to the video of the same name. And we can't forget the dreaded Schadenfreude. Legends say that when this taunt was added, 1,000,000 buckets of lime green paint, scout mains, and Lenny binds all poured into the game to haunt the new free-to-plays. Oh yeah, and there was a limited lithograph and wallpaper. Cool, I guess. In total, we received 8 brand new sets in the game, 20 new weapons, and 11 strange variants. Combine that with the changes outside of gameplay, It's no wonder why many consider this to be one of, if not the biggest update in the game's history. And, well, that's about it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and got to know a little more about the game's history. I know this is different from my typical uploads, but I wanted to try something different and see what you guys think. Don't worry, Beginner's Guide isn't over, and if you enjoy this type of content, then like, subscribe, hit the bell, very optional, and stay tuned. As always, any criticism greatly helps the channel. I've run out of things to say, so
In the meantime, this is where I get off.